Here we are in Dreamweaver CC, and this is the screen you're going to see when you open up Dreamweaver. You might see a screen before this which asks you to define your site, which means it wants you to use a folder as the root. And this folder will store all the HTML files, all the images, anything else that's associated with the site you're creating. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to HTML and just open up a page. Now what you should do is come up here to Site, go to New Site. I've already established the site. Give it a name, whatever name you want. Go to this folder and navigate to your here it is, starting folder. I put this on my desktop. I figured it was the best idea, making it easily accessible. So now I've defined a site, and if I come back up here, I can go to Manage Sites, and you can see I already have a whole bunch of them here. But this is the one I just did recently. You know, if I want to delete some or whatever. So you just come up to the pull down, and it's either New Site or Manage Sites if you're interested in creating or editing. So the first thing we're going to do is look at some of the panels here. Dreamweaver has workspace layouts for different types of work, which you can get to by going to Window, Workspace Layout. See, I'm in Compact. I can go to Reset Compact, and this brings it back to its basically pristine shape. If I had been using Compact and I had moved a panel over to a location, the next time I go into Dreamweaver, it usually thinks that you made that choice on purpose and will keep the same setup you had. So by going to reset, regardless of which workspace layout you are in, it'll bring it back to the original format. So our format here is, again, is Compact, and it's a good format. If I wanted to, I could take this insert and I could pull it, drop it up here. Now I have horizontal instead of vertical. But I kind of actually like the setup I had before. Do Reset Compact. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go and open in the folder. See, now Dreamweaver goes right to the to that folder I defined as the root folder. It opens right up there and open up the bare bones HTML. So this is a HTML file I made, which is a 960 pixel layout, and I call it bare bones because that's all it is. There's not a real lot of formatting in here. Here's all your HTML right here, and when you select it, it selects everything. If I was to select individually, it'll just select the area, like it just selected the header area. So if I go and look at header, right up here, here's the CSS, the background color, height, width, and the other thing you have in Dreamweaver is you're able to go to the CSS Designer panel, and when you click on Style, it's going to open up all your styles right here. All styles created. You see this at Media Global. Beginning, don't even really pay any attention to it. If you need to move things around too, you can do it. So if I go now and I go and click on Body, my body is the black part in the background. I'll preview this in a browser by going to File, Safari. on a Mac over here. There's small differences in the interface between Mac and PC, but they're not huge. So here it is right here. It's a fixed width. And the black is my background, and it remains black regardless of the size of my browser, where it's elastic, as opposed to the content area here, which is fixed 960 pixels. So if I go to body and I click on body, what I get over here is what they've done in CC is they've made it more graphical. They've made it in order that it can be more user friendly, I suppose. So now by pulling, if you have enough real estate to be able to do this, now by pulling out, I see all these different factors that I can change. If I go over to here, I see what the background is, what the background color. You can see a little bit of it right there. So if I want to change it to red, I just change it to red, which I really don't want to do. The body is basically just a color for the background. There's no specifications. It's the complete environment that this 960 pixel layout is sitting in. So there's really not a lot you can do with the body except for change colors and things like that. But if I was to go to the header, I see the color up here. I can just come over here. I see the background color. If I wanted to change it, I could change that. If I wanted to add padding or define what type of text is going to be there, you're just going here. And although it might look like you're going to different screens here, what you're actually doing is, this is all the information right here. You're just jumping to different parts of this page. So this is one way of looking at it if you have the real estate or whatever. So what I'm going to do now is open up a template, which you're going to see has a lot more text because of a lot of commenting that's been done in the HTML. So just go to File, New, and it opens. Mine opened right up to a HTML 2-column fixed or 3-column fixed. I'm going to do a 2-column. To create. So what you see here is you see the sidebar on the other side. This is done by using a float, and all the float does is either float left or float right. It's as simple as that. So you have your header area up here. What I just selected there was my content area, and by selecting it I see everything. You know what's really different about this compared to mine is all this gray text. This is all comments left, where the person who made this HTML is putting in comments that are going to help explain why he did things. So as far as for our concerns or for our use, it kind of is maybe a little noisy and can make things kind of complicated. But what I'm going to do right now is just go through. One thing I usually do is I'll go in here and I'll delete this. Now say I wanted to put an image in there. I go to Insert, my Insert panel. I go to Structure. Make sure I'm in Common. So you have all these different types. Some of these you just won't even use. Basically these two are the two you're going to use. But you'd be in Common, Div, Canvas, Image. Now I'm going to go in and look for a 960 pixel width by 200 because it can't be bigger. I'll just say okay. So now I have this in as a header, and it's fairly simple to put in a image in Dreamweaver. Now if I wanted to come over here and figure out how I was going to access the colors and everything of these links, I go over this and I see over here in my HTML that it's div class sidebar 1 and it's nav. So now I'm going to come back to CSS Designer Maybe I'll pull this up a bit. Come back to CSS Designer. Go to Style. Now we have a lot more selections than we did the last time when I opened up the bare bones HTML. But because when you go and you do live, what happens is you see basically what you're going to see if you open it up in a browser. So I can see there's two colors there. So what I'm going to want to do is get out of live for one thing, because you can't edit while you're in live. Come back to Style, and notice there's nothing down here. And we already looked over here and we saw div class sidebar nav. So we're going to look for nav. Go to the background color. There's my green. There's my green. It'd be nice to use the actual colors that were in this this header, which you could do, but you do it through Photoshop. I'll show how to do that later. I'll make this color, which is really different. So that's your, now I come down here and I see that I have that. So you figure that is going to be your hover color. So I'll come back up to live. And it is. So this is where you come to get out of live so I can edit it. So this is where you come to do all your colors, your widths, here's all your specifications for header. There's all your specifications for the text that's going to fall within header. Although with a picture like this in, you really can't put any text in, unless it was you enlarged it. So it's actually fairly simple to figure out things. I use a modifier key on my Mac, and what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll click an area like that. I just clicked it without a modifier key and it selected it, but sometimes it's hard to get an area to select. See, I just did the container, so it selected everything that's the outside of the container and everything that's inside of it. But I'm just trying to get the sidebar. So sometimes there it is. So sometimes I have to get use some type of a modifier key. I'm using Control on my Mac, and what it did is it selected everything in the sidebar. So inside of the sidebar is this this little navigation system here. So if I want to go in here, and I know this is the content area right here, either by selecting it, and I see over here is content. So if I wanted to change the background color, either scroll down to it, or use these icons to go up and down to go to the different areas. So it's fairly simple. So I think that's enough for right now. Thanks. Bye.